Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I would like to share a recipe for cookies that are pretty quick to make. Once you make the dough, you need to put it in the fridge for an hour. But if you don't have time, you can leave it for a few hours and then come back to it whenever you're home and have time to actually bake the cookies. Or you can make it the day before or a couple days before. What I need for those cookies: flour, sugar, farmer's cheese, butter, a little bit of baking soda, and preserve of your choice. Everybody can choose their favorite. Sweet, crunchy cookies today. Welcome to my kitchen and thank you for watching. Ingredients for today's cookies. I need about 110 grams of butter, which is one stick, 110 grams of flour, 110 grams of farmer's cheese, about 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and any flavored preserve you like. I've got some fig, apricot, and cherry. And what I want to mention here is, if you want to make more of those, and let's say you use 2 sticks of butter, which is 220 grams, you will need 220 grams of flour and 220 grams of farmer's cheese. So it is very easy to calculate the amount for less cookies or more cookies, because you just need to put the same amount of butter, flour, and farmer's cheese in it. And these are the ingredients for today's cookies. The stick of butter that I have is cold from the fridge, and I have cut it into smaller pieces so it's easy to work with it. So butter, farmer's cheese, brown sugar, 1/4 of baking soda, I don't really need much, and 110 grams of flour. It is a little bit less than 1 cup, with a pinch of salt. And you just need to combine all of it. So another option for this dough is, if you would like to add almond extract or orange extract, lemon extract, or vanilla extract, whatever flavor you prefer, you can do it as well. The dough will be sticky, very soft, and that is why I need to put it in the fridge for an hour, so it's easier to work with it later. Sprinkle the dough with flour so it doesn't stick when you wrap it around, and then in the fridge for an hour. I will see you later. Come back. It's been an hour and now I'm ready to roll the dough. So a little flour on my board and I need to roll it out kind of a rectangle shape. If your shape is not quite as a rectangle, you can cut out a couple pieces and stick them where you need them. And this is how mine looks like, and it's pretty thin. Since my children like strawberry, I will go with the strawberry one. And it's important you have it at room temperature, because cold will be very hard to spread. For today's video, I actually cut the recipe in half, because you can imagine, with me baking so much, how much of baked goods and sweets I have in my house, which is not so good for the children. Under the video, I will put the exact measurements for today's recipe, but also the full amount, the whole recipe as well. Okay, so now that I have the preserve spreaded, I need to roll it in. Okay, now that I have it rolled up, I will need to slice the cookies to be about 1 inch wide. Out of this recipe, and again, this is half of the regular size, I have 14 cookies. My oven is preheating to 350. Those are ready to be baked. So, oven preheated, 350, and those would need to be baked for about 20 minutes. I will set my timer to 20, okay? And cookies are ready. So as always, I need to wait until they cool off, and then I can cut up close and break one in half for you. A little bit of powdered sugar on top, and those are ready. And you can see the brownish on the edges, and this is indication that those cookies are ready to be taken out from the oven. Very soft. The amount of butter makes them flaky. I would like to let you know why I am a big fan of using scale instead of the cups. I do put measurements in cups, so it's easier. As you know, I'm from Europe, so everything for me is in grams. And here in United States, any recipes you have is usually in cups. But I want you to pay attention to one thing, so take it as a tip. I learned by mistakes because I've done it before. So I have put together a flour, the same flour, all-purpose flour, into the same measuring cups. Exactly 2 cups in here and exactly 2 cups in here. But I want to measure it using the scale and show you if there is a difference and how much of a difference it can be. So here is the first 2 cups of flour, as you can see, 2 cups. And here is exactly 2 cups. All around. No cheating. And I will turn on, and there's nothing here. My scale. So it's set to 0. Maybe I should show you. So it's set to 0. If you can see. Okay, and I will put the first 2 cups in. And it says it is 248 grams. So now I will take this into a different cup, and it's empty. Put it back. It comes back to 0. And now the other 2 cups. All of it. And this one is 314. So now you can see that 2 cups are not created equal, right? They do not measure on a scale the same. So why is that? Well, it's all about handling the flour. If we are gentle with it, the flour is fluffy, it's light, and then 2 cups, nice fluffy flour. If you handle the flour, shake it, kind of bang it, on the surface somewhere, it loses its volume because it becomes dense. So you keep adding to have exactly 2 cups, right? Well, but it's much, much more heavier. It's much, much more flour that you need. So if you ever had a cake and you tried to follow the measurements and directions, and the cake wasn't quite the way you hoped. It wasn't as fluffy, it wasn't as delicate, it wasn't as soft. Well, maybe because there was too much flour. So it's just a tip, and I hope you will find it helpful to kind of pay attention to how we handle flours. I know how it is when you bake something and you put your heart into it, time into it, and then it doesn't come out the way you hope for. And it's frustrating. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching.